Hey, hello everybody.
Hello.
What's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
As
Good.
you can see, today is Black and White Shirt Day, featuring myself
Hey,
and
hello,
Victoria.
everybody. Hello.
What's going on? We've got
Welcome,
double
welcome,
noise
welcome.
happening. Just a moment. There we go. uh, what's going on? So who do we have here? We got some friends from yesterday's event. Robert, Michael, Barbara. Thank you very much for coming. Nice to see you all. Oh, Melinda's here. Melinda, very nice to see you. Thank you very much. And I signed up for a couple events. I'm glad you were able to make it here. Who else? We got some new folks. Ken Alsford. Very nice to meet you in person. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming. Christina is here. Christina, I believe we've met before. Thank you very much for coming to the event. Remind me, where aren't you in LA or Southern California?
LA at the moment.
LA at the moment. I can tell by your beautiful background. Look.
Intentional.
It looks very LA. Awesome, folks. But there's some folks still coming in. So we're gonna, as usual, chit chat and banter for a little bit as we're waiting for folks to come in and finish up. They keep on coming. I love to see that. Who else do we have? Robert, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in a full 24 hours.
I'm well. How are you today?
Oh, doing lovely. It is a hot day in Los Angeles today, which is, I guess, why people live here year round. I think it all makes sense now. It's all coming together.
It finally feels like fall in Atlanta, Georgia. We've
Oh,
had
yeah.
an Indian summer. And today I think it was 40 this morning, and my body's just not ready for all that yet.
Yeah, you're speaking to a New Yorker with very little sympathy for Atlanta winters.
Well, I lived in Chicago for 7 years, and
Okay.
then I got moved to Atlanta, and now I'm spoiled, I guess.
Gotcha. So you ran away for a good reason, and now you're back into that terrible 40-degree weather. Sorry to hear it. Well, 40-degree weather, that's good. Like, stay at home, watch a good movie, get inspired, come to some networking events. Weather, right?
Right. At least the sun is out, so it's not bad.
Perfect. Well, I like to hear that. Who else do we have? We have some folks I haven't met before. We got Anne Marie. Hello, Anne. Thank you very much for joining us. I think Anne's gone for now, but thank you for joining us. So, folks, we're going to get started in just a moment. But for those who have been to a Riveter event before, thank you so much and welcome back. Really appreciate. Oh, hello, Anne Marie. Thanks for saying in the chat. Really appreciate you coming back. For those who have not been here, and for those whom this is a first, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to have a really exciting time. Riveter is all about, as Michael told us on our LinkedIn thread the other day, it's about empowering the unemployed. It's about how do we make this a more positive, productive experience. And certainly a big part of that is job search. A huge part of that is networking, which we're going to do today. But an excellent part of that is being introspective, thinking about what we can learn about ourselves and our experience throughout this time. So that's really what we're going to do. Before we get started, I want to ask you guys a couple things. First of all, if you're comfortable with it, if you can, turn your cameras on. It's great to see who's in the room. Daryl is on a ship, I believe, somewhere in Texas, in Central Texas. Daryl Poston's on a ship, so I love to see that. Turn your cameras on if you're okay with it. Second thing is, drop your LinkedIns into the chat. This is a great opportunity to connect with each other, to network. Drop your LinkedIns into the chat. You don't have to add each other right now. What I'm going to do is after this event, I'm going to aggregate all of those LinkedIns and I'm going to send out an email to everybody and you guys will have everyone's connection. So feel free to enjoy, live in the moment, spend time in the event, and I'll share everyone's LinkedIn after that. The next thing is, as you know, you should have all gotten an email with a social styles assessment. It's a really cool test where it's pretty quick, 3 minutes long. You're able to answer a couple questions and you get categorized into 1 of 4 groups. In case you haven't filled that out or you just want to kind of pull it up in front of you, I just sent over a Google Drive link where you'll be able to pull that up and check it out for yourself. So what we're going to do today is Victoria is here to join us. She's been a global leadership development manager and leadership consultant working with companies like Uber and Visa and many, many others about how do you develop great leadership styles. But more importantly, is how do you actually make this intrinsic into how you communicate with people? How do you know your skill set and double down on that? How do you quickly read the room and understand other people's skill set, comfort, and have your style match theirs in a way that makes it all go better? So we're going to chat. We're going to have a really great time. There's going to be events unlike some of the others you guys have been to, even Riveter events. We're going to have a bunch of breakout rooms, games. It's going to be great. And at the end of this, we're going to break out into networking groups, as always, and going to ask you guys to talk about your social styles and how taking this assessment, and certainly how the first 40 minutes of this event actually helped you think differently about your personal story, your personal brand, how you communicate about yourself, because that's the whole goal here. So without further ado, folks, I want you to help me welcome with some muted applause our speaker today, Victoria Feldman.
Hi, everyone. Adriel couldn't have said it better about what we're going to do today. So I'm so happy to have this opportunity to do this workshop with you. And let's get started. I'll share my screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Ken, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see the screen? Melinda, you as well? Just to get multiple?
Where
Perfect.
it
We're
says
good.
social styles, right? That's what the one you can see. Okay, great. So let's do a quick welcome. And if you can, write down one word in the chat that describes your personality. I hope you all had a chance to do the test. It doesn't have to be related to the 4 social styles and can be anything that comes into your mind. I just want to get to know you better. So anything that comes to your mind that would describe you and your personality. Let's see, how can I see the chat here? Okay, I see connector, introvert, friendly, authentic, excitable, amazing, affable, supportive, positive, analytical, genuine. I love it. Love it. Cheerleader, somebody wrote, Michael wrote cheerleader. That's very good. That's very positive. I love all the positive words. That's great. Okay. So I would say about myself also that I'm also a positive person usually. So I would say positive about my personality. Adriel, what are you? I
I
haven't
was
seen your.
excitable. I'm
You're the
very,
excitable.
I,
Okay.
if anyone spent 30 seconds telling me anything good about their day, you will know. Very excitable.
Great. Okay, amazing. So as you can see, we have all different personality traits or different ways that how we describe ourselves and different ways how we can, perceive things and perceive others and perceive how we think or feel. So we want to talk about a little bit of this more today. So a little bit before we start, a bit about me. I want to introduce you myself. I'm a talent and leadership development manager. I worked in big companies and small on projects on organizational culture, diversity and inclusion, coaching, employees, building leaders. I lived in 5 countries and I'm passionate about working with people, developing people and helping people to, be the best they can be. And I worked with companies, Uber, Facebook, PayPal, amongst others, on elevating strengths, capabilities, and helping their employees to bring their best self to work and achieve their best potential. So today we're going to talk about the goals of the session is to identify your own working style, social style. I hope you guys all had the chance to do the social style test we sent you. If not, you can quickly do it right now. It takes really 3 minutes. And we'll learn how to identify other people's styles and build meaningful relationship with them. And we learn how we can apply the social styles to and network with others, and how you can use this as a tool that will help you in your job search. So let's start. So what is actually social styles? What does it mean? It's a way to define our personality. So the personality is defined by emotional, behavioral characteristic of a person. It's how we present ourselves to the world. And people say that it's 50-50 genetic, 50-50 genetic, 50 kind of nurture, nature versus nurture. So how our genes, or how we came from our parents or grandparents, and then the other 50% depends on the environment we grow up in. And the oldest personality profile dates 5,000 years ago with Egyptian civilization. And they believed that the health and the body relates to 4 elements: fire, water, earth, and air. And they actually characterize people by these different 4 elements, and thought of how their health and their character is related to that. And it all evolved more and more into the 19th century, when psychologists like Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung became more interested in that area. And they postulated that people have kind of 3 sets of preferences. So orientation, extrovert versus introvert. So people that are more introvert is more focused kind of on their inner world, versus extrovert are focused more on the external world, on other people. So judgment, so thinking versus feeling. Are people analytical and care about fact to analyze situation, or they more tend to make decisions by feeling, by intuition, and sensation, etc. So the way they did it is that they looked at kind of these two axes. One is the orientation, so orientation towards self-thinker, and orientation versus others. Orientation versus the self. So it's people that are introvert, that are more kind of low assertiveness. They're going to be asking more. I'm going to talk a little bit more later. Versus telling people. So it's the extrovert that are more kind of talking to people and want to venting and putting things out there. And the vertical axis is people that are more thinking, so they would be more logical. And the versus emotional, so it's people that are more care about emotions and feelings and intuitions. And one thing I want to tell you is that it's only for, of course, this is a very kind of exaggerated and generalistic point of view. People are not necessarily going to only one of these quadrants. We're complex personalities. We sometimes can be, depending on the environment, we can be one or the other. And we tend to shift also. So it's definitely not here to put you in a box, but it's there to kind of show what people have a tendency or more kind of dominant way of thinking or behaving. Does anybody have a question before I continue?
No,
Okay.
Keep it going for now, but folks,
Yeah.
if you have questions, post them in the chat, and then we're going to
Yes.
ask. So Victoria is going to be speaking for a part of it, and then we'll dive into Q&A. We're going to go back and forth here, but if you have questions, throw them in the chat.
Yeah, so this social style model allows us to recognize each other's value and kind of our own communication style and social style, understand others, understand what are the team roles and the tasks we can have, or we like to have, or we more have tendency to have. And it can also help us understand what we prefer in our ideal environment, to perform better. It can also help us mitigate conflicts with one another and coach each other and support each other to mitigate different barriers or conflicts that may come around. So yeah, as I said, yeah, we can look at it as kind of like a way of seeing the world and how we like to think versus how we like to be, how we behave. So let me go into kind of on deep dive. Before I deep dive into each one, I want to show you kind of who else can be in these situations. So imagine we have people that are in controlled versus telling. So it's people that are very thinkers and very assertive. So I hesitated if I should put Donald Trump or not, but we can see it's a person that is very kind of focused on himself, very kind of not towards other people, but himself. He's going to make decision fast. He's going to, move fast. He's going to focus on the bottom line and very action oriented, versus somebody that is analytical, like Albert Einstein, that is, they would care more about data and facts and numbers and comparing things and analyzing and asking, why did we do this? And it's Albert Einstein that came up with the theory of everything is relative, because he was analyzing and said, yeah, everything is compared to the other, analyzing and comparing things. And on the bottom left, we have Michelle Obama. So it's somebody that really cares about others, really cares about people, but she's introvert and she's very easygoing and would go with the flow. And somebody that is expressive, emotional, feeler, versus like somebody on the bottom right is someone like Oprah Winfrey, that she's going to be expressing her opinions and have a voice and speaking loud, and that's why she's really good at what she's doing. She has her show. She talks about books and interviews people. She wants people to have a voice. So we all go into we all have different roles, people that are one of all of these categories. So if I want to explain on easier way, imagine we're going on a trip, right? You're planning a trip with a vacation with your best friends. So you might have the friend that would say, okay, let's book the tickets, let's go there, let's do things. I care about what we want to do. He wants to make decision. They want to make sure that everything are going their way, how they want to do it, that they're going to their destination, that they book the hotel, and just they want to get things done and book that vacation. And analytical will be more a person that would be asking questions and saying, but what if we go there and it rains? But I'm not sure that I want to go there. I don't know. Did we look at other places? Are we sure that it's the best thing to go? Let's compare it. They would be the one that are very slow in decision making. And imagine you would want to go to a restaurant with them, so they would go and check every single restaurant in the street, compare prices, compare the dishes that they serve, and then maybe they will make a decision. Amiable would be a kind of person that will say, you know what, I don't care where we're going, what we're doing, as long as everybody are happy. I just want to be with my friends. I just want to have a good time and make sure other people are having a good time. And it's somebody that focused more on the people and on the relationship. While the expressive, it's going to be a kind of person that would say, I want to go there. Oh, we're going to Italy. I love Italy. Let's go. I want to eat pizza. I want to go this. I want to go there. And they will be very excited, very enthusiastic, but they're very slow in making decisions. So they would probably wait till the last moment to book the flight, because they are scared that what if they will change their mind or something changes in the last moment.
Victoria, I actually have a question there. Ken asked a good question. He said, to what extent do you think that these categorizations arise from our employment experience? So I guess I'd even put that a different way, and like, what effect does the work culture or my manager or things like that have on where my role, on what my style is?
What effect does the manager have on your style?
What effect does my work environment, does my employment experience, my industry, things like that have on my style, on my social style?
Oh, well, I can give you an example. For example, my last manager, my last role, I was working at Uber. I was building talent and leadership development programs. And my boss was very, very analytical person. So he loved presenting spreadsheets and really showing that we thought through all the ideas and thinking of and planning everything ahead and comparing different way forward to one another and comparing the pros and the cons and thinking through and everything. And me personally, I am very expressive. So I care about just get things done. And for me, building all these spreadsheet with comparison of maybe this, for me personally, it would be a waste of I thought it was a waste of time because I thought if I made the decision, it means that's the good decision and we should stick with it. And worst case, we fail and we reiterate and we fix it. And but if I wanted to communicate successfully with my boss, if I would just tell him I made the decision, he would say like, yeah, but how and why did you, based on what? And so I learned how to adapt my style according to him. Every time when I wanted to, get his buy-in or something or support, I would present kind of a way of how I thought through of how I came to this idea and presenting a spreadsheet with the budget and the cost and the different kinds of solution and different scenarios and comparing the pros and the cons of one another. And when he saw that, they said, okay, great. Now you speak my language. Now I understand why you came to this idea. Okay, great. And this is how I got his buy-in. And vice versa as well. Like if he wanted to get me to do something, he would try to, think about a way that motivates me, think about kind of what the end goal is going to be. Like imagine we're going to build a program for 2,000 people. That would be a huge impact. I mean, yes, that's amazing. Let's do it. And so we adapted to each other's style. Does this make sense? Does this answer your question?
I think it did for me. Ken, let me know if you have a follow-up. And then Christina asked sort of the flip side of that, right? Ken asked, what does my past experience have to do with my social style? Christina asked, knowing my social style, how do you think that determines what roles you'd be successful at? She gave the example, if I'm an amiable person, might I be less successful as an analyst? Or if I'm a seller, and am I how does being a salesperson get affected by whether I'm analytical or a driver or expressive? How do you think people should take their social style, compare it to the roles that they're considering, and see if they're a match?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, as I mentioned before, it's not, if you're amiable, it doesn't mean that you're going to be bad at analyzing things. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be a good analyst. It's a way to say that we have more a tendency to have more one behavior and one style to others, but it doesn't mean that other styles, it's not black or white. It's not shade. It's shades of gray. So maybe you will have also very, very strong analytical traits as well that you like, and maybe you will have both. The fact that it's amiable, if you're amiable, it means that how you would work, how you would connect with others. So it means that you're a good listener, you're friendly, you seek of improvement, and you don't like conflicts, and you preferred to be told what to do rather than lead. You try to avoid changes and uncertainty. So it's more of saying like kind of what's your preferred style versus this or the other. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it's about like finding the blend, figuring out what your super strength is. So I'm a super expressive, but I also
Yeah.
have some amiable characteristics, and that makes me good at building teams and things like that. Victoria, I wonder, I
Yeah.
know you kind of gave deep dives, and by the way, we'll share this slide deck with folks. so that you have it and can refer it. I know after this, you sort of done some deep dive. Maybe this is a good time, just timing wise, to move into sort of the first game that we want to play, the interview game, and kind of use that as a context to dive a little deeper. What do you think?
Yes, of course. Let's do then the role play. So I will share with you guys, with Adriel, all the slides. So you'll have more information about what each style means. Yeah, I would love to, let's start to do the role play. So we'll have more time than later. So we wanted to show you how you can apply the social styles into the working environment. And we're going to play a little game. So first we're going to play with Adriel, and then we're going to choose somebody to play it with you. So I'm going to play the hiring manager, and I'm going to have a random style that Adriel will have to guess what it was. And his role is to identify my style. And once he identified, maybe adapt the way he talks and communicates with me to speak my language, to see what I care about. It's going to be short and sweet, so it's going to be very concise. So it's, of course, it's not realistic, and interviews would take much longer. So we'll be very, very quick, but we'll try to kind of demonstrate how it works.
So Victoria, can you stop sharing your screen so people can see our faces?
Yes.
That might help them. That might help me actually figure out what you're going to do. So yeah, Victoria's going to ask me like 3 questions. I'm going to be interviewing for the role of a seller. Victoria is a hiring manager trying to hire a salesperson. I'm a very expressive person. That was my social style. That is written all over my face. Victoria is going to pick one of the 4, and she's not going to tell us which one. After that, we're going to kind of leave it up to you guys to try to guess which one Victoria was, and we'll talk for a moment about how I should have adapted my answers. And then one of y'all is going to do the same thing with Victoria. So think about who wants to volunteer. Otherwise, it's just like high school gym. I'm going to pick one of you to make an example. And then we're going to do the same thing right after that. So Victoria, Miss Interview Hiring Manager, let's do it.
Hi, great. Hi, Adriel. I'm the hiring manager for Google sales, for the sales team here at Google. So Adriel, please tell me, how did you analyze who are your prospects?
So I do every analysis when I come to the sales. I build my prospect and my lead list really by figuring out which industries make the most sense for us to break into, diving deeper into that and saying which verticals in each industry are going to make sense, and then finding the 5 best people at each company that I need to be reaching out to.
Okay, great. And what is your methodology in when you want to sell a product?
So I'm actually very structured in terms of methodology. I really like to follow some pretty clear processes and make sure that every single lead I interact with in the same way. And I build out a funnel that takes every prospect from first interaction all the way to the close of the sale through a regimented process.
Great. Can you maybe walk me through some of the numbers that you generated in your previous, some of the revenue and how you calculate them?
Sure. So in my last job, I sold $15 trillion worth of pencils. I was actually the 2nd best seller in my region. And on a per quarter basis, I grew 190,000%. And it was really based on some really clear, excellent prospecting that I did.
Okay, thank you very much, Adriel. We will get back to you in a few weeks.
I did. Did I get the job?
Yes.
So what do you
great.
guys think? Which of the 4 styles was Victoria playing?
Analytical. Yeah.
Somebody threw that in there. So
Yes.
Analytical.
Good
Yes,
job.
I agree.
Michael Pierce hired me. I like it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I would hire you the same, but as I'm analytical, I need to compare you with other candidates, and I need to think for 3 weeks. And but eventually, I would probably hire you.
With those kind of growth rates on pencils, I think you should. So like for me,
Yes.
For me, I actually sell I am a seller, but I sell in a very different way. I'm actually much more amiable and expressive as a seller. And I really am relationships focused. So like when I realized your first question was something around like, tell me about the process. I was like, oh no, I have no process at all. But I understand, that's what Victoria is looking for. So let me try to put everything in the sense of numbers.
And you did a fantastic job. Uh, as you can see, this is how analytical hiring manager would speak. They would ask you about what's the process, what are the numbers, what is the methodology. This is what they care about. They care about facts, numbers. They're thinkers. They need logical, everything logical information. So, and Adriel did really good job into adapting and kind of speaking my language and adapting his style to what I want to hear.
Awesome. Who wants to go next? So whoever says me please in the chat first gets to go up next. Again, it's not it, Michael. All right, that might mean I have to choose you if nobody else volunteers. Who wants to go up against the very intimidating hiring manager that is Victoria Feldman?
I won't eat you.
What do we got? There we go. All right. So
I'll
Michael
do it.
is up for it. Michael is up for it. Michael, what
Okay.
social style are you when you took the test?
Probably not a surprise. I'm amiable, but to Victoria's point, I have been in work situations many times where I'm taking on those roles of analytical or driver. And again, it's based on the work situation and what you have to do to complete the job. But by nature, I fall into that amiable quadrant.
Awesome. And what kind of jobs are you? Give us like an example of a job title that you're interviewing for, and that's what Victoria is going to interview for.
Well, so I just got this request for an interview today. So I will be interviewing on Thursday for a production manager / office manager.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can do a quick, completely realistic mock interview.
Sure.
And so would you mind sharing, you don't have to share the name of the company, but
Sure.
maybe just what industry?
They are a custom lighting manufacturer.
Okay.
They do it for individuals, for companies. They've done for some, been published in magazines and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay, so they're like custom lighting manufacturer, and you're going to be a productions / office manager.
Correct.
Great. So, hi, Michael. I'm Victoria. I'm the CEO of the Lighting Manufacturing Design Inc. Corporation. Thank you for coming to the interview. So tell me, why do you want this job?
I want this job because, one, I think I could be a huge asset to your process. I would allow your artists and artisans to focus on actually creating and executing without having to worry about, managing if the supplies are there, or managing the day-to-day of their paperwork or their the things that they need to take care of in that way, but really just allow them to focus on what they do best.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Tell me, what are some of the tasks that you did to accomplish and help your team reach their goals?
Sure. So in past positions, I have actually been a production manager already. And a lot of that was helping to streamline that process and work with teams to make sure it was understood what deadlines were, and to be able to address those in a timely manner, and also just to juggle all of the projects at a single time. There were many ongoing projects, and each one with different deliverables and milestones. And so it was a matter of achieving those and knowing what could be done to achieve those, and if not, making contingency plans as was necessary.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michael. And a last question, we are very, very fast moving company. We work in the speed of light. Did you get my joke? And yeah, so tell me how do you handle stress? How do you handle crises at work? And how do you are you able to adapt to this fast paced environment?
Sure. I eat my stress. Actually, I do thrive in an environment where it's, as I would put it, controlled chaos. I enjoy the frisson of energy that happens in a creative environment. And I think the best way to actually approach dealing with that stress is to just, quite frankly, understand what the priorities are and be able to address them without that emotional attachment to a project. Obviously, when everything is a priority, nothing is. And so I look at the real deliverables and actual timetables and am able to sort of plan that out so that it can be addressed logically.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michael. You're hired.
Oh, yay. Let's hope that actually happens.
Cross fingers for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so what style was I? I was a little bit less obvious, but what do you think was my style?
I think you were a driver.
Yes, what do others think? Would you agree?
See, I thought you were amiable because you asked about the team, you asked about how you're going to help other people unblock themselves. So I thought that was a bit amiable, but I guess driver gets more votes. Doug thought expressive.
Really? Okay, maybe I wasn't that well, but it's true. I was a driver because I was asking what are the tasks that you accomplish to get to your goals. I said we're moving fast because the driver, they move fast. They're very action oriented. They need results right now. They care less about the how. They care more about the what. So they would ask you like, what did you do to do this? Are you able to work fast? Are you able to make a decision fast? And I think Michael navigated it pretty well. And yeah, so good job. Thank you so much.
All right, there you go. So actually, I have a question for you. And then guys, we're going to do a little exercise. We're going to break out into breakout rooms after this question, just for 5 minutes or so. And what you're going to talk about is you're going to actually think back to your last manager, and you're going to think about what their social style was, your last manager, and how you might have worked better with them, met them where they are. And my question for you, Victoria, will kind of guide this a little bit. But my question is, how much should we be, changing ourselves, adapting our styles versus just exuding confidence in the social style that we are, both in the workplace and certainly in interviews and things like that?
Yeah, so definitely don't change yourself, be yourselves. If you're interviewing for a job where you have to pretend that you're someone else, you're not going to be happy. It's not a good place. So definitely be yourselves. It's only, the question is how you present. That's the only difference is how you present your ideas, how you present your past experience, and how you present yourself. So yeah, please don't change. And I have a couple of cheat sheets that I wanted to share with you as well. So when you're interviewing with a driver, so be on time. They're usually fast and energetic and sometimes talkative. So you have to be fast, energetic, clear, and brief. Usually drivers are sitting in like VPs or senior positions in the company, and they would care less about like how you did this, how you did the methodology, and how they want you to be concise and precise on how you got there and and when you're talking about your last experience, so select specific key facts you want to highlight and summarize it. And after that, if they want to deep dive on something, then give them the space to deep dive on a specific question. Whereas analytical, again, be on time. It's very important. It's always avoid speaking loudly. It's people that usually speak more calmly and more quiet. So you don't want to speak louder than your interviewer. Be prepared, systematic, don't exaggerate. They don't like exaggeration. I remember when I was talking with my previous manager at Uber, and I'm very expressive, so I tend to exaggerate, and I would say, yeah, can you believe it? This person was 3 hours late. I waited for them 3 hours and they didn't show up. And you would say, no, you didn't. You waited for 15 minutes. So he didn't like exaggerations. And if you present data to support your arguments, even better. They love numbers and key facts and results. So talk about that. If they're amiable, if they're more people and kind of emotional oriented, it's going to be people that, you want to show that you're good at stakeholder management, that you can mutually agree on something, that you're collaborative. And when you talk with somebody that is expressive, like me and Adrielle, so focus on the big picture, allow time for socializing, and also be fast and energetic. You want to be the same kind of wave as they are. The same tone of voice and the same speed and the same this kind of the same tone as they are. Hope this makes sense. So again, what qualities to demonstrate? I'll share with you all those slides. So when you're analytical, you want to show data and KPIs. When you're expressive, you want to show creativity, storytelling. People, they love, people, expressive people love storytelling. And when you talk about the STAR frame, use the STAR framework. Oh, something happened. And when you talk about amiable, so you want to talk about kind of stakeholder management, how you collaborate with people, how you communicate. And when you talk with a driver, so you want to be fast, effective, and how you show that you can make quick decisions and you're able to take risks, but you're able to also calculate through them and summarize and be concise. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Like Daryl said, know your audience.
Yeah. So we want to leave time. I think I stopped sharing.
Yep. So I was sharing just to show you guys the slide, and again, we'll share all this with you. So what we're gonna do is it's gonna be 5 minutes, and then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna separate again for the usual networking end of these events. But I just created these breakout rooms. And yep, there you go.
You created them before we. I think we're already in a breakout room, aren't we?
So
no, we're not.
No, so there's 4 breakout rooms there that y'all can join. Check them out in your groups. Talk about your last manager style and how you might have adapted and what's important in your next hiring manager. And we'll put you out in 5 minutes. All right, Victoria, you can join group 2 and just hang out with them.
Okay, sure.
All right, see you in a minute.
Hello?
Oh, can you hear me? Still having some trouble on your audio. No, I can't hear you, and it's a little scratchy. Do you have headphones? No, I think I heard you mumble something, but I'm not sure. It's very very distant, very scratchy.
Don't know what happened.
Yeah. Maybe if you'd like, you can join that room, listen in, join in the chat, and sorry about the sound. I will sorry about that. I will assign you back to that room. Let's see, I think it was room 4. There you go. I'll assign you to room 4. Hey, welcome back, room 1. What's up? Oh, 3 of my favorites. Great. Glad we got you all. What's up, team? Very randomly, you all got assigned together. Just kind of happened that way. All right, welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the room. So I hope that was an interesting exercise. We're going to get right back into rooms for the last little bit of it, but with a slightly different prompt. I want to ask Victoria one question again, and then get into this next prompt. I want to ask Victoria, what is your social style, and how do you use that knowledge to change how you talk about yourself, how you set your career goals, and things like that? Because that's the question that we're going to pose for you guys for the last 5 minutes of the session when you're back in breakout rooms. And you're on mute, Victoria, so let's get you off of that.
Sorry. Yeah, so my style, that's a very good question. My style is expressive. So like you, I'm very creative and I care about the people, and I'm less analytical. So for me, what's important, we were talking about in our breakout room, how, a manager can have, different styles. It depends on the person. A good manager can be any of those. That's definitely true. But I think that for me would be easier to work with specific styles more than the others. But yeah, again, it depends on the person. It really depends on the person. For me, I feel comfortable, for example, in a fast-paced environment where we have to make fast decisions. This is why I work more with tech companies, and less in kind of other types of, for example, medical industry, where you need to test and approve and pre-approve and retest and check and validate, because it's a medical industry. So I do have, everybody have their own kind of preferences and in ideal environment what they would think that they would thrive the best. And the idea of this test is know yourself better and know what are your tics, what's your pet peeves, and also what you care about as well, what's important to you.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna jump right back into breakout rooms. I just opened them up again. I'll pull you out at exactly 2:00 Pacific. We'll pull you guys back out. So again, share what your social style is. These are going to be different people, and share how this might affect how you tell your personal story, and share things about yourself. So open up the rooms. I'll see you back out here in about 6 minutes.